Hi guys, Martin Curry from Belief Media. In this video we're going to look at a couple of alternate methods of rendering lists of videos on your website. At this point I don't need to talk about the merits of video. It's discussed on our website and our blog in depth. And I am recording this in the third week of October 2025. So some of these updates that I've applied won't be available until Tuesday of next week. So in the past we looked at rendering lists of accordions. Hopefully that changes screen. Apologies for the slow PC. Happens when I record. So we create a list of related or a collection of videos in Yabba. We send them to our website and it creates a nice little accordion like this. That can be tailored and customized in any way that floats your boat. You can change colors, the hover time, whether you open and close accordions and all sorts of things. There's a huge number of options that applies. However, we do have alternate methods of rendering videos. We're going to show you some of those. Now, I'll jump into Yabba here. We're on the Sendify screen. Okay, it's worth talking about this. If you've just come off the Managed Article program, remember the Managed Article program has been offline for 4 months. It only came online today again after a significant period for a massive update, mainly related to partner articles. And if you were part of that program, you've got access to Sendify. Sendify is the AI-driven module with more features. More social features. It integrates TikTok and things like that. Things that aren't necessarily integrated with Sendly, which was the previous module. So if I click Sendly there, it'll take me to a page that's less feature rich, doesn't include the social collections and so on. Sendify has been active for a couple of years, but we've, I guess, mitigated the support time just by incrementally drip feeding people into that system and taking care of any bugs that may exist. And at the moment there aren't any, but there's always some waiting to be found. We drip feed people as quickly as we can. So nonetheless, we're going to pull up the website management page and it'll bring up the entry panel for website management. Now keep in mind this video is a really broad overview. The FAQs will have to be referenced for a really detailed and granular understanding of everything I'm introducing in this video, because it kind of will be a lot. So I'm really just showing you the result of a couple of things rather than sort of diving deep into all the features and all that sort of stuff. I just want to talk about it. It's here again. If I didn't mention it before, I really, at this point, I don't need to talk about the value and virtues of video. It is what is necessary in order for your website to function and be found, creates engagement, and manufactures those funnel pathways. So it's just, unfortunately, it's just necessary. And it's easy enough to do. And we've got a couple of programs that introduce you on how to do that. Anyway, enough of that, and I'll talk about it another time. So from the entry screen here, we're going to select this right chevron. I think it's on the third or fourth website panel. So that'll take us to panel 2, panel 3, and panel 4. So it's 4 panels along. Starts with tooltips, modals, and collections is what we want. So it says series and related in the tooltip. We'll select that. Now, remember, collections can be posts, videos, or downloads. We're toying and playing with video at the moment, so we'll select that. This is just a refresher. We did go through this in another video, this entire process. We'll select the applicable website that we want to create the list on. Although with video, it doesn't really matter. Again, I'll detail why in the FAQs. So give your collection a name and description. There are a couple of advanced options here that can be ignored. And then you just select video. We'll add another video here. We'll just add a few for demo purposes. You can search for these as well. So I can just search broker and, it'll bring up a number of options. If I bring up, I wonder if I've got any SMSF. No, I don't. I'll search up Yabba, gives me a whole bunch of Yabba videos. I'll pull up that one, and so on. So it's really quick and easy to manufacture these. It's a very agile solution. If you want to remove one, select the red cross, and in order to order them on your website, just drag and drop these into position. Once done, hit save. Once you've done that, you will need to send that package to your website. Again, it's a multi-website system, so just click the send panel and the green button, and that'll be available on your website immediately. Now, I've got a couple of collections here that are set up for the purpose of demonstration. So I've selected this little hamburger icon on the right-hand side. That's a review panel. We've got the article series, the video series, and video series trigger review. I'll talk about that another time, and it will be detailed in your FAQ, because if someone clicks on a video modal, that's obviously tracked, and we can apply triggers on the basis of that. So related downwards, and then just a send log of updates, packages sent to various websites. From this panel, you can open up the list, and you can reorder these on your website if you want to. You can deactivate or silence, mute certain videos, or you can delete them. It is easier sometimes just to select the edit icon directly, and that brings up a page where videos are more easily managed, and it does allow you to add more videos, which you cannot do in the review panel. So we've got one here, just called example video series, and a number of Boeing 777 educational videos. Bit of a background to this: they are used by probably every 777 operator in the world in one way or another. They have been used by Boeing and Altown, which is the Boeing Flight Training Division, and so on. So they've certainly, some of them have had 10 million views on YouTube. They're very, very popular. So you can drag and drop these as required if you need to. Notice the little cross mark is green now. If I added another video, that would be red. That's just to indicate which are added now and which were added previously. If I wanted to, I'd just save that and then send it back to our website, and that update would be applied. Let's jump onto our website now. And I think the opening screen has the accordions set up. So I will delete this so you can see me search for the widget. So I've searched series here, and it's brought up BM related series block. I will change the name of that to BM related series collections, I think, because it is a collection. We changed the name a number of years ago. And that brings up nonsense. Ignore that. That'll be removed by the time it reaches you in a few days. And then we have to select the related series we would like to render to the page. Article collection, video collection, BM video collection, which is a new one, and download collection. Now, the BM video collection was added as a result of the modified article program. Okay, it allows us to manufacture more comprehensive and, if you like, robust video collections to articles that we send to your website. If I didn't mention before, because I just gave a live presentation to our Manage group, got a little bit of feedback. When we send content to your website, we do like images and video and calculators and everything embedded within the article content. We're not just going to send text. We're not just going to, we never, all the images are sent directly to your website, so they're not hosted in the cloud somewhere. It's a very robust system. Now, it's been offline for about 4 months, I think, while we've performed these updates. Some people have got a little bit cranky, but it's a free program. We've never actually charged for it. And I can't and won't charge for a program that has a negative impact on your business. Anyway, we're looking at video collections. I'll come back to BM video collection in a moment. So video collection there. The format, in this case, we'll select accordion and select the video collection. We've got example video series. And this is what we looked at last time. We've got a whole video on how to generate these blocks of content and the various options that apply. on the left-hand side and how they're used and so on. So, and they should be used. Instead of, or in addition to having related posts under content, have related videos as well, because people will engage with videos. The format for accordions is great. Like, it works particularly well on landing pages, but it's not very appealing. It's very flat. Remember, all these colors and everything can be customized. A huge number of attributes that can be altered there to change the appearance. Now, before we go any further, and before we have a look at containers, I did pull up this page, I think, before. In the olden days, the old SMSF page, which just kind of looks kind of awful. We needed to get the SMS videos onto your page, and we threw this, up just very quickly to have something there, and never got around to changing it. It's really irritating. Now, the updated version, is much nicer because it utilizes containers. Containers are used everywhere on your website. Now, anyhow, we're changing a lot of the default Elementor containers to be containers that we've created, because again, they're more robust and they're more appealing. It's not the clunky Elementor stuff that we kind of have gotten used to. So those videos just look really nice. You can click anywhere on those, and it brings up the pop-up modal, and that update will apply next week. So again, I'm not even sure if I mentioned this before, but certainly if you're using our landing page module, you'd be familiar with these without the image half the time. And if we do use the image, it's normally about half the size. It's just there for color, really. It's about a third the size. It's a very small banner towards the top. We use those on landing pages as well. We use 4 on desktop, and then 2 will render on mobile. So the first 2 are important. However, there's a second block down the bottom, and then we hide the first 2 and show the last 2. It's a little bit of a mashup. It's not important now. Certainly if you're doing our webinar next week, we explain that to you. It's a turnkey process, so they're just there. All the stuff on those landing pages is just there already, and they render in a format similar to that. So let's go back to this page, and let's have a look at altering the presentation of this. So let's look at the containers and rows. So I'll pull it up that, and that will render in a manner not entirely different to the SMSF videos I just showed you. It is a little bit different. On the SMSF videos, I think it was here, we kind of have the title and content down the bottom, whereas here we've just squished it up into a single block. So I'll publish that so you can see an example of what it looks like on a demo page. Excuse me. This page will just change automatically in a moment to update with Elementor. Or hopefully, don't make a liar of me. I'll just refresh it myself. And it looks really nice. Like it's a really good presentation. No, it's still not updating because it's still saving in the top right there. God bless you, Elementor. It can take a few seconds. So while I'm here, I'll just talk about some of the options. Okay, the number of columns is important. Okay, we'll look at 3 first of all, and see what that looks like. You can see all of a sudden it's put the image to the left and the text is over to the right hand side. It takes on a completely different feel. Let's have a look at 2 columns. And now this isn't totally unlike the grid format that I'll show you in a moment. And it starts to look a little bit sort of wonky. The text, we include more text there sort of to fill up the container. So by default, although you can alter that, I think there's, if I haven't got that here, here it is. Title and content length. So you can change that as you need to. If it's set to 0, it'll just render the default text. And that's what we recommend. We just truncate it to a length that's sort of consistent or necessary to fill up the container. If you have 1 column on this thing, it starts to look a little bit wonky, I guess. So if you're going to do that, I would recommend getting rid of the background and border and all that sort of stuff, which are all options that you can alter here. I won't go into that, but it just looks better without the big grey border there and so on. Now, so that's that. Anything above 3 columns will show with the image up the top. Let's have a look at 5 columns. And I think this is about as many as you want to squeeze into any one row. Anything more than 5, and it starts, I'll show you, with 6. With 6, it just looks busy. So we'll have a look at that. And 6 just looks weird. What you would probably do is remove the description, which is an option down here that won't click because my computer's slow. There we go. I'm just clicking out of that panel to hurry the Elementor rendering. And even there, it looks a little bit funny. So I guess the point I'm making is use the description and keep it to maybe 4 or 5 columns. There are occasions where you will have them shown laterally and so on, but it is a block of content. And it looks really great, guys. It works really well. To launch any of these, you just click on any of those that will launch the full screen modal. We use the full screen modal now rather than the Yabba modal, although we may change that. We do track everything, but I think it's worth having the Yabba modals because we can include a call to action under the video and so on. That's under a YouTube video, which you can't do with the full screen modal. So I've kind of slept on this for a few days, and I think I've just answered my own question really, because you really do need that call to action facility, particularly within video. That's why Wistia videos have an advantage, because you can have the turnstile and other features integrated directly with the video. So let's look at the icon format. Okay, the icon format. So rendering format, and I'll select icon grid. So we'll give that a few seconds, and that's what an icon grid looks like. So it's just, well, it's 4 columns, but 2 columns of videos. The thumbnail off to the left, and the text off to the right with a little watch link. You can click on the the icon here as well, and that will also launch a video modal. So guys, it's really, really good. Like, we've got these features have existed for the better part of 3 years, but some of them have just been integrated with Elementor, only because we've rationalized or consolidated sort of everything into the one widget, whereas previously it was 3 widgets, and then you had to use shortcode in order to use the icon grid and so on. So what am I doing here? There we go. Now, I'm going to leave that for a moment. I'm going to come back to it. And video collection, containers, example video series. All right. So a couple of things to take note of. First of all, the images. And I might have to create another video actually just to show you a couple of features you can use in order to embed YouTube videos into your website. Because it is nice, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody use it, and that's our fault because we don't make this stuff visible enough perhaps. But all those icons, sorry, not icons, all those images are sourced from YouTube and then loaded into your image library on your website. It only ever loads once. So this is an external image that we copy over to your website, manufacture into various sizes. And we also remove the black bar towards the top and the bottom. So it renders in like a 16:9, HD format. And it's more easily applied, particularly in containers, because the image size is consistent and so on. So when you load this up for the first time, excuse me, expect it to take about 5 or 6 seconds, because it will copy over all those images, it will process them, saves them all to a database, it performs a whole lot of magic. And then once it's loaded, it does cache, and the images are local. So it renders very, 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 very quickly on page load. So let's look at the, I'll just have a look there. There we go. I'll just have a look very quickly at the BM videos. Now, we've had problems recently. We had the 5% change introduced at the federal level. We removed caps on income and property value in order to take advantage of some of the government programs. And all our managed guys got videos from us within a very short time, maybe 4 or 5 hours, that related to that program. And our unmanaged guys, we have different levels of management. Obviously, it's applied to websites. Excuse me. And I really felt like a lot of people were missing out. Now, there are a number of reasons for that. First of all is the plugin is slightly different, so we didn't have the same functionality in unmanaged client websites. And second, there's no hooks that are used by default for managed content. There are actually BNet hooks, but we didn't want to occupy a hook that might be taken over by the AI system in order to show content. Now, most guys don't get enough traffic to automatically generate the AI-based content, which is sourcing it's not AI content, it's using AI to source content that you've already manufactured, or videos that are already in your library. It's showing people stuff that's relevant. So it's part of the conditional framework. Now, the BNet hooks were available to us, but we just didn't want to use them. So, and again, we don't charge for this stuff, so I didn't think there was any harm in just leaving a whole bunch of people out. I know that sounds a bit rude almost, but that's just how it is. So what we've done is we've created a facility on your websites now. It's a couple of tables we've built into the back end where we can send content straight away. And then there are a couple of hooks within your website now, particularly on the front page, where it could be used if it needs to be used. And the only example I can think of recently, or 2 examples, the last rate drop, obviously, and second is the 5% first home buyer purchase arrangement. So that sort of stuff is kind of now built in by default. However, if we look at BM video collections, at the moment there's only one collection showing in here. I'll pull it up in containers, and at the moment the only collection we've loaded up onto standard website is the ATO SMSF video series. So I'll load that, and then they're divvied up into the 5 subcomponents. So whenever you have a collection, you'll either have one or more options for that collection. And in this case, it's we'll just select the second one, setting up an SMSF, and that will just render now on your page. Notice the content isn't there, by the way. We're missing the description. There's a little content toggle there, and that'll load up, and it loads the description underneath those. So that's the way in which we will deliver sort of random content to you in the future. And we've got hundreds of videos we've taken, that can effectively be used by anybody or chopped up as required to manufacture other content. So that's that. So guys, that's really that. I just really wanted to show you just the options for rendering different types of video on your website. And truly, it needs to be used. Obviously, you'll need a content creation strategy in place, and you'll need to take the initiative. But I can say categorically, there's enormous amounts of data that supports this. It's common sense anyhow. Those brokers that engage with video and are quite prolific with video, and don't try and be too official. So it's casual, off the cuff, conversational video that tends to be more persuasive and engage people in a more significant way. We don't want to appear salesy, if you know what I mean. And most brokers, a lot of them jump online. Women will do up their makeup and all sorts of stuff. Don't bother. If you're out and about sitting in your car while it's parked, you're walking down the street and you walk past an auction, you know, there's so many opportunities you have just to pull out your mobile phone and record yourself for a few seconds. I know a few guys that are doing that like multiple times a week, some of them 7 to 10 times a week. The software I use for this video recording, the reason it's so slow, it's a little piece of software called Faststone Capture. It costs $20. You can download open source solutions that I've used before, and they're excellent. So you can do screencasts and run through calculators and scenarios and all sorts of stuff, and then return that stuff to the screen in you know, any way that floats your boat, in a number of formats that's most suitable for the page and the audience and the, you know, etc. So this sort of stuff just works. Now, I haven't applied thumbnails to these. Remember, you can from within Yabba. There is a video on how to do this. Alter the thumbnail. What always looks best is a white background with something, a little bit of text, maybe a little person, and a little play button in the middle, just a transparency play button. There is a facility within BNet to automatically manufacture your thumbnail based on the description content and based on the contextual understanding of the video, so it does a transcript and all sorts of stuff. But again, you know, we're trying not to give too much stuff away for free at the moment, particularly when it, you know, is a service that would otherwise cost you hundreds a month. So that's that, guys. Please, if you've got any questions or inquiries, don't let yourself fall behind. You have an incredibly powerful framework. It is the most powerful website framework in the industry. There's no question about it. It's got more functions and features. It's the only funnel-focused, Microsoft integrated website you can use as a broker. It's got the capacity to do amazing things. The only thing you need is traffic. So you throw traffic at it, and it's going to convert in numbers that's 30 to 40 times higher than some of the competing solutions. So it can be the backbone to a really successful operation. But you need to create, again, those tools that will capture the attention of your website visitors, maintain relevance, and lean on those attributes of EAT, with a focus on education and entertainment. Certainly your expertise will present itself just by virtue of the content that you're manufacturing, and your experience will be demonstrated as well by virtue of that. So that's the 4 E's, and those 4 factors, those 4 E's, tend to assign you the authoritativeness you require and you need in order to build that trust, which will create the conversion. Conversions very rarely happen straight away. You have to do something, and that's the basis of escalation of commitment. Again, I don't want to get too much into it, but facilities like this can change your website entirely. And those guys that are using it are doing tremendously well, like just tremendously well. But they have video to actually show people in the first place. So there you go. Again, any inquiries, call or text anytime, 0400 777 300, website beliefmedia.com.au. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.